Good morning, everyone. Today we will be dealing with the analysis of data. In the last module, we had seen what are the various steps involved in processing of data, and one of the steps which is there in processing of data is analysis of data. In today's session, we will be looking into the definition of data analysis, purpose, goals, types of analysis. These will be the topics which will be dealt. So before going to the definition and other topics, let us see, once you have collected the data using your questionnaire, observation or other methods of collection of data, what do? So after data collection is over, then the next step is processing of data. First one, we have to make the data ready for the analysis. In the last session, we have dealt with what is coding, editing, then what is classification and tabulation. So getting data ready for analysis is the first step, whereby you will be making sure that the data which you have collected is ready for the analysis or interpretations. How do we do this? We will be doing this using different methods. First, frequency, measuring of central tendency. Then you can use bars and charts, percentage analysis, frequency distribution, measures of dispersion. By that method, you can always use and make the data much more effective in presentation so that we can inference something out of the data. So how do you check the goodness of data? There are two things which you have to check. First one is reliability, the other one is validity. In class we have told what do you mean by reliability and what is validity. Reliability is the data giving the information which it is supposed to give. Validity means, is it giving the valid information? So that is goodness of data. There are two types of analysis. One is called descriptive analysis. The other one is called inferential analysis. In inferential analysis, you are not comparing anything. You are testing a hypothesis. So in that case, if your analysis is inferential, you will be doing hypothesis testing. Once you get the data, after you do your analysis, what we will get? We will get interpretation for the results, or we will be coming up with a question which can be taken forward for the next research. So interpretation of result. After that, we will have a discussion wherein you will be analyzing whether the research question which was raised in the beginning of the research is answered or not. So this is the process which is involved after the data collection. Hope you understood. So first we will prepare the data and summarize and analysis the data in the next stage. Okay. So next is, what do you mean by analysis of data? Analysis of data means critical examination of the data for studying the characteristics of the object under study, for determining the pattern of relationship among the variables relating to it using both quantitative and qualitative methods. Okay. There are both quantitative deals with numbers, qualitative deals more of characteristics or behavior or attitude which cannot be numerically represented. Another definition according to Call is studying the organized material in order to discover inherent facts. The data are studied from as many angles as possible to explore new facts. Now, there are various purposes of analysis. What are those? First one is in order to summarize large mass of data into understandable and meaningful form. So first purpose is making the data understandable and meaningful form. Second one is it makes description to be exact. That is, you will be after analysis you will be able to give descriptions which can be used for the decision making in future. It aids the drawing of reliable inference from observational data. It facilitates identification of causal factors underlying complex phenomena. It helps making estimations or generalizations. Inferential analysis is useful for assessing the significance of specific sample result under assumed population condition. Whether if your sampling is done properly and you have done your analysis, the inferential analysis will help you in order to make generalization. In inferential analysis, you will be doing hypothesis testing. For example, whenever your population size is less, say less than 100, you are always advised to do survey method. If you are having a population more than say 5,000, according to the research, the ideal sample size will be 400. So if you get uh, data, and if you based on this data if you are making inferential analysis, you can infer that the results which is there for the sample can be applied for the population. So the major purposes are to make it understandable and meaningful, description should be exact, to infer reliable data or information, what are the factors underlying complex phenomena, to make estimations or generalization, and the last one in order to generalize something. So from sample you are generalizing some phenomena or some activities to the whole population. So these are the purposes of data analysis. Next, what are the goals of data analysis? Without proper analysis, the data which is gathered is not at all logical. If you are doing a proper data analysis, you are making your research more concise and logical. So first is you will be preparing the data. After that you will be classifying, coding and tabulating the data, and once this is done you will be presenting it in such a manner that it is easily understandable and presented. We will be using graphs and diagrams in order to do the analysis. Second goal is identifying the average values and variability. Okay, that means we will be using the central tendencies, measures of central tendency, and making sure that the after the data analysis, one single value that describes the characteristic of the entire mass is available. Okay, or we are checking into the central tendencies like mean, median and mode. The next one is, so field of research is when you are able to articulate or you are able to present the data gathered in concise and logical order, where average values in the sense you are representing the values which you got individually as measures of central tendency like mean, median and mode. Next one is identifying relation between variables. Once you do the data analysis, we will be finding if there is any relation with relationship which exists between the variables. For example, as temperature increases, volume will increase. So that is, and the relation is being told, that is direct proportion. Okay, so once you do the analysis, with increase in one variable, is there any increase in other or vice versa? This can be inferred. Next one, to make inferences about the population parameter. In most of the research studies, it is not possible to enumerate whole population in the study. So only a part of population is taken, which is nothing but the sample for the study. One of the goals of data analysis is to use the information contained in the sample for drawing conclusion or making inference for the larger population. Okay. That means from the sample mean, you are extrapolating and getting the population mean. Next, last goal is testing of hypothesis. A statistical hypothesis is an assumption about any aspect of a population. If there, for example, there is no relationship between compensation and job satisfaction, that is a null hypothesis. And analysis of data carried on this test of hypothesis on the basis of sample values so that the hypothesis can be accepted or rejected. So these are the goals. Okay. Now coming to different types of analysis. Okay, there are 7 major analysis. First one is descriptive analysis. Second one is factor. Third conjoint. Fourth canonical. Fifth one cluster. Sixth one inferential. What do you mean by descriptive analysis? Descriptive analysis provides simple summaries about the sample and the measures. Okay? It describes the variables which are there. Descriptive statistics is the discipline of quantitatively describing the main features of collection of data or quantitative description itself. So it is mainly to describe the variables which are there. There are different types of descriptive analysis: univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and multivariate analysis. Univariate analysis involves describing the distribution of a single variable, including its central tendency and dispersion. Okay. In this one, you are considering the distribution of single variable. The shape of the distribution may also described via indices such as skewness and kurtosis. Skewness is nothing but on which side your tail is longer, that is skewness. Okay. And second one is bivariate analysis. This is one of the simplest form of quantitative analysis. It involves analysis of two variables, say x and y. And the purpose of this analysis is to determine whether there is a relationship between them. Okay. Most common bivariate analysis can be done using percentage table or scatter plot graph. Okay. For example, based on the day, how the share markets are being performed. This can be a multivariate analysis. Third one, multivariate analysis. In multivariate analysis, multiple relations between multiple variables are examined. Okay, so relation between many variables at a time is being considered. In bivariate, two variables are considered at a time. In univariate, only one variable is considered. In multivariate, it is based on the statistical principle of multivariate statistics, which involves observation and analysis of more than one statistical outcome variable at a time. So, if there are multiple variables playing in which is causing a changes, then it is a multivariate analysis. For example, if you have seen brand image, it is dependent on many other factors like brand awareness, brand value is dependent on many other variables, brand image, brand name, etc. So in this case, if we are considering all these variable and effect on the brand value, then that is multivariate. Okay. Multivariate analysis can be done using three different ways. First one is multiple regression analysis. In this one, the researcher has one dependent variable which is presumed to be a function of two or more independent variables. The objective of this analysis is to make a prediction about the dependent variable based on the covariance with all concerned independent variables. How there is variances caused based on these variables. Before going any further, what do you mean by dependent and independent variable? A independent variable in your study is nothing but which is not having any changes due to your dependent variable. For example, age. Age is an independent variable. Time, it is an independent variable. If you check any variable, say weight, height, okay, they are dependent on your age. Okay, so that is dependent variable. So based on the study, what you are studying, the independent and dependent variable may change. Okay, so for example, in this case, we are taking brand value as a dependent variable which is depending upon brand awareness, brand image and brand name. Okay, so that is dependent and independent variable. Okay, hope you understood. And regression is how it is getting varied. Next one is multiple discriminant analysis. This analysis is appropriate when the researcher has a single dependent variable that cannot be measured but can be classified into two or more groups of on the basis of some attribute. If you are able to like uh, like brand value, if you are able to discriminate it into different other factors or variables, That method is called multiple discriminant analysis. The last one is multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis of variance is an extension of two-way ANOVA, wherein the ratio of among the group variance to within the group variance is worked out on a set of variables. We will come to this in the next modules. Now, next one. So, this is about descriptive analysis. In descriptive analysis, there are three types: univariate, bivariate, multivariate. Under multivariate, there are three: multiple regression analysis, multiple discriminant analysis, and multivariate analysis of variance. The next one is factor analysis. Factor analysis means to reduce a large number of variables into fewer number of factors. For example, if we have many variables which can be clubbed together under one particular name, factors, then it is called factor analysis. For example, like, uh, uh, demographic details. Demographic details, you will have age, place, and all those things. Sorry, demographic, age, gender, all those things will come under demographic characteristics. So if you are clubbing these factors under one main category, it is called factor analysis. So why we need this factor analysis is, first we will identify number of factors and define the factors as function of measured variables. For example, these things, if we are studying in some other study, not just studying the relation between brand image and the brand value, we can use this brand value as one factor under which all these other factors can be clubbed together. Next one is conjoint analysis. It is also known as trade-off analysis. It is developed to understand how respondents develop references for any type of object. Okay, about an object, what is their perception. This is mainly used for, this conjoint analysis is mainly used for designing new product, estimating brand equity, product line extension, price elasticity, brand and packaging. For these things we will be using conjoint analysis. It is mainly to know what are the factors or references for any type of object which the respondents keeps value on. Next one, canonical analysis. It can be used in cases of both measurable and non-measurable variables for the purpose of simultaneously predicting a set of dependent variables from their joint covariance with a set of independent variables. Okay, for example, there will be some differences or variances which will be uh, which will occur because of the brand image and brand name. There will be some variances between these variables also. Okay, next one, cluster analysis. Cluster analysis, it is a set of interdependence techniques for grouping similar objects or people, or making homogeneous group of clusters. The data is grouped together under different clusters which is having same or common features. The last one is inferential analysis. It is concerned with various tests of significance for testing hypothesis. So in this one there is hypothesis which is involved. Okay. So if you check, um, these are these are This will be describing a variable. This will be making the variables as factors. Conjoin means how the people perceive about, or it is called as trade-off analysis. It refers to how respondents develop references for any type of object. Canonical analysis, it is used for measurable and non-measurable variables. Cluster analysis, we will be clustering the data uh, into clusters which are homogeneous in nature. Then last one, inferential analysis, we will be coming up with a hypothesis and testing whether there is any relationship or not between two different variables or more variables which are involved. Okay, so we have learned what do you mean by analysis of data, what are the goals and purposes of data analysis, and different types of data analysis. We will be dealing with each one in a detailed manner in the coming sessions. Thank you very much.